Yeah, this has always been a really good place for us. We like coming to Richmond, and it's always one of those places that I've looked forward to coming to, whether it's been in April, May, or September, that you get an opportunity to race at a short track, similar to Bristol, similar to Martinsville, and come out of here with a strong run. So we've been good here, and just kind of hope to keep the trend going and not mess up.
You got a question, Melinda?
Who do you consider your biggest threat and why?
Well, I feel like Jeff's probably our biggest threat. The 24 cars, been good here in the past, and they obviously have a good notebook with, the Stewart Haas cars running well here in the spring, and also, just having the resources and everything that they do have. They're no slouch. So for us, that's probably our guy.
David?
You want fans or not? You want fans to show up to the race? I think that's always what you got to do. You got to have. I mean, Jeff and I, we could have brought boxing gloves here and made it a thing between us two, but there's also 5 other guys that have an opportunity, I think, to make the chase as well. So, for us, it's just that for us, the 18 team, it's that we need to go out there and run well, run strong, and if we're in a chance to win the race, then great. And from there, if we don't have an opportunity to win the race, we just hope that somebody that is in the top 10 is going to win the race, or someone that isn't eligible.
Holly?
Of the people on the outside trying to get in, who's the biggest surprise to you this year that would find himself in this position of really having to struggle in the last race to get into the chase?
Probably the 24 car. I mean, you look at those guys, and you look at us and the 24. I think both of us are surprises that we're struggling to get ourselves into the chase. You think of other teams that are surprised to maybe be in the chase. I would look at Clint Boyer, and not because Clint's not a great driver or he hasn't made the chase before, but that's a startup team this year, so that's a brand new deal over there at Michael Waltrip Racing. But those guys have great resources too, and we lean off each other a little bit there between JGR and MWR. So they've done a nice job in being able to put themselves in. There's only room for 10 in the top 10. But beyond that, you got to race for wins and whatever else you can to get yourself into the chase for the final 2.
What about Carl? I mean, he's really on the outside.
Good point. I forgot about Carl. Yeah, Carl too. I mean, being such a fierce competitor the last few years for the championship, whether he's finished second or third or fourth, he's always been right there coming down to the last race in Homestead. So Carl's a huge surprise, and that's very unfortunate, especially last weekend, having his engine troubles that, doesn't allow him to come in here. He has an opportunity, but really with a good opportunity to make the chase.
How much do you relish the opportunity that everything really is fun? You're a good guy, best drivers out there.
Yeah, I'd rather us be in. I'm used to that. I'm used to being in, and we come in here 2009 not in the chase, and actually I was in Jeff Gordon's position where I was just outside. I was the one guy outside of it, and I needed to beat Brian Vickers, I think, by like 8 spots, and we weren't able to accomplish that. I finished 6th, and he finished 9th or something. So we didn't get the goal that we needed to. So anything can happen. It's certainly a race where, Jeff could be leading, and he can have a teammate buffer or something like that behind him. I can also have Jeff leading and have Denny Hamlin behind him, and really count on Denny to do something for me, or however you look at it. You can play it so many different ways, but in reality, you just got to let it play out. And down towards the end of the race, there's already somebody who knows what's going to happen. So we just all got to find out what it is. This is a place where we can really lean off each other a lot, and we run a really similar setup. So for us, it's really big that we're able to communicate well and to be able to share those notes and to be able to discuss different nuances about the racetrack that both help us. And so it's just been a fun track too for me over the years that I've been able to run well here and be strong at, whether it's been with the Hendrick days or whether the Joe Gibbs Racing days that we finished well. There's certainly a great opportunity for it to be very wild, or there's a great opportunity for it to be a little dull. And to be honest with you, I'm going more with the dull side. I'd rather have it be more dull, just so there's less BS afterwards, I guess. Yeah, I think it would be great that it was us two going after the win, whether it be he leading or I leading. But in all reality, I think it comes down to uh, every man for himself, and this is everyone's year. This is your year, this race here, to try to make it into the chase. Otherwise, if you don't make the chase, essentially the way I feel about it is you're just another car out there making circles. So, um, I'd rather it not get ugly. I'm not following. Yes. Yeah, it would definitely be um, in line with what's on the line, that it were Jeff and I racing it out versus one of his teammates. Well, I think that we we're confident coming into this weekend. We feel like we've always done well here. We have really good notes, that we have a good basis for being able to run well here, and a good foundation to start practice with. So we'll continue to do some of the same things that we've always done here in the past, and to make our car what it needs to be for the race on Saturday night. I feel like our biggest challenge is just going to be the race and how the situations all play out. Having something stupid happen on the racetrack, or something stupid happen on pit road. Those things can certainly hurt us quite a bit. And you just got to have everything play out, and not be you know nervous or something like that about making a mistake. You just got to go out there and do your job how you always know how to.
So I was going to ask you, is it a little nerve-wracking? Because in the past, maybe one or two guys had to get that win to get in the chase. This year, it's half a dozen people, and that's their only ticket.
Yeah, it's not nerve-wracking. It's just you kind of know, or you kind of feel like for us, we're the best scenario. We're the best guys here, and you always have to feel that way. Otherwise, I think you're going to be a little bit underrated. So, you got to go out there, work hard. And practice is going to be probably one of the biggest things that we work on, and just making our car drive well, and then to just, again, let the race all play out.
You probably have the smallest percentage of chance of not making the chase. Everyone will talk about it. But how would you feel if that chance had been given, and come the next Sunday morning, not have to go?
It'll be tough. It's certainly a scenario that we don't want to be in. We'd love nothing more than to make the chase, but there's also two, three, four other guys that are going to be really down also if they don't make the chase. So they're going to be pushing hard to try to do everything they can this weekend. And if it's a race where it comes down to, again, here's another scenario. Carl Edwards ran really, really well here in the spring. He could lead every single lap and go out there and win the race, and I finished second. We're still in. So that's just everybody's got to do what they can to try to put themselves in. You just got to know the scenarios that surround you, and I guess you've kind of got to be on top of that a little bit and figuring it out as you go. Well, I think it's no different than going into a championship situation. I mean, this to us gives us an opportunity to go into a championship. But if this were Homestead and it was kind of a five guys going for it, you got to win to win. It would be pretty phenomenal. So it's just, you got to do what you have been raised to do, and just drive the car how you know how, and communicate with your crew chief and let them know exactly what you're doing, if you're driving the car hard, if you're not driving the car hard in practice, so you can kind of manipulate a little bit of what your car handling is going to be. You don't want to ever do that.
In all of your years of racing, in all your forms of racing, can you think of another weekend that was as intense and as important as this one?
Not really. I mean, there's been some scenarios, but maybe never none as important as this one. I feel like, we've never had a shot for the championship at the end of the year besides my nationwide championship that I had in '09, and we had that wrapped up with just needing to make a start at Homestead, so that doesn't really matter. Other than that, it's just been, big races where they're important races that you felt like when you're racing late models or something like that.
Anything else?
There was so much emphasis put on Denny's crew getting him that win last week. Do your guys get motivation out of that?
Sure. I mean, anytime that your company is able to win, I feel like that, you have some significance to that. Whether Denny followed some of our notes during the weekend or whether just he being able to win in the equipment sort of solidifies your thoughts like, hey, this stuff's pretty good. We're no slouches. So Denny's done a phenomenal job this year. I feel like our roles have reversed a little bit from last year where, we had 4 wins and we were kind of the guy each and every week. Like, why isn't the 11 running a little bit better? Where I think this year, it's kind of been the other way around. Denny has 4 wins and now he's kind of like, well, why hasn't the 18 run a little bit better? Where we've been fast at times. We just haven't quite had all the luck go our way.
Anybody else?
Do you feel like you kind of thrive in this situation though, Kyle? I mean, you bring it when you need to bring it. Is that kind of something you feel good about?
I feel good about being able to bring it and to bring it to the racetrack when you need to, sure. But we try to bring it every weekend. So when you only win 1 out of, I guess, 25, it sort of doesn't make you feel too good about yourself. But here in Richmond, you couldn't have asked for a better place for us and our team, and being able to come out here run strong. And what makes it really good too is that the 11 does run well here. So even if we got off track, we've got notes to go back to.
What do you think of Jeff Gordon, not just for this one race, but what do you think of him as a racer?
As a what?
His racer in his career, what do you think of him?
I mean, I think Jeff speaks for himself and what he's been able to accomplish in his career. He's a 4-time champion. He's got 85 whatever wins, and being able to be in this sport for this long and to be a chase competitor each and every year, barring odd circumstances like this one, that he's fighting for a chance to get into it. But I think that Jeff obviously missing the chase, or I missing the chase, or Carl missing the chase, are big storylines. And it's not that any of us want to miss the chase, but there are a couple guys that are in the chase that maybe people wouldn't necessarily think are chase contenders each and every year, but those people that are in there right now have done their dues and have worked really hard, and they're in and we're not.
Well, does he have the kind of career that you aspire to, or other drivers aspire to?
I think if anybody could aspire to have a career, it would look similar to a Jeff Gordon career or a Jimmy Johnson career for sure.